Every day, we are surrounded by challenges that affect our future. These issues concern each of us, from global warming to personal fulfillment. Today, we will look at the top 10 topics that concern the world and learn how together we can solve them. Climate change is one of the biggest threats to humanity. Every year, we see the consequences: hurricanes, floods, abnormal heat. But what can we do? Transition to renewable energy sources: solar panels, wind turbines. Solar panels and wind turbines are no longer the future, but the present. Governments are investing billions of dollars in building solar power plants. For example, the largest solar farm in the world is located in India and covers an area of over 20 square kilometers. Reducing plastic use and recycling waste. Plastic is one of the most destructive wastes. Recycling it can significantly reduce ocean pollution. For example, the EU has already banned single-use plastic, and companies like Adidas are making sneakers from recycled plastic bottles. Mass greening. Forests are the lungs of the planet, but millions of hectares are cut down every year. Reforestation is a priority. Tree planting campaigns like the Green Belt movement in Kenya have already helped restore millions of hectares of land. Individual steps. Everyone can contribute. Use reusable bags, reduce energy consumption, and choose local products. Even small things like giving up plastic straws save the environment. Global health collaboration. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown how important it is for all countries to work together. But how can we prevent such crises in the future? Creating global medical hubs for rapid data exchange. The World Health Organization initiates projects that allow countries to share data on new viruses. This helps to respond to threats more quickly. For example, thanks to a global network of epidemiologists, SARS was contained before the global crisis. Using AI to predict disease outbreaks. Artificial intelligence analyzes vast amounts of data, including social media posts, migration data, and climate data, to predict the emergence of new diseases. Development of universal vaccines. Current research is aimed at creating vaccines that can protect against several viruses at once. This is especially important for developing countries where access to medicine is limited. Technology and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is changing everything from medicine to transportation, but it's also causing fear in many people. Using AI in medicine for early diagnosis of diseases. AI helps make diagnoses at early stages, which saves lives. For example, Google Health algorithms can detect skin cancer with 94% accuracy. Automate your routine to free up time for creativity. One of the main challenges is to create standards that prevent AI from being used for harm. This includes international agreements and ethical principles for development companies. The future of work and automation. Automation is replacing millions of jobs. How will we make a living in the future? Support for retraining programs. Many countries have already launched initiatives to train people for new skills. For example, in Singapore, the government provides grants for workers whose skills are becoming obsolete. Creation of new jobs in the field of ecology and technology. Automation is giving rise to new areas: sustainable construction, alternative energy, AI development. Investing in education. For example, in Germany, programs have already been created to train workers in new professions related to green energy. Political stability and prevention of wars. Wars and conflicts continue to destroy the lives of millions of people. How can we achieve peace? Strengthening diplomacy and the work of the UN. The increase in the number of negotiating platforms, such as the G20 and the UN, helps find solutions before conflicts start. Combating the causes of conflicts: poverty, inequality. Addressing poverty, access to water, and education reduces the risk of war. Control over the spread of weapons. The Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons is a step in the right direction, but it needs the support of all countries. Mental health. Mental health is an invisible crisis of our time. Many are embarrassed to talk about anxiety and depression. Creating accessible psychological assistance services. Many countries are creating hotlines to support people. An example is Japan, where after the introduction of such programs, the suicide rate decreased by 20%. Popularization of mindfulness practices and physical activity. Platforms like Calm help millions cope with stress, and regular exercise has been shown to improve mental health. Mental health education. Schools and universities introduce courses on how to cope with anxiety and burnout. Global pandemics. New viruses appear more and more often. How to stop their spread. Development of early warning systems. AI can detect disease outbreaks by analyzing data in real time. Mass education on safety precautions. Hand washing and mask wearing campaigns have saved millions of lives. The future of transport. Transport is an important part of our lives. but today it pollutes the environment, creates traffic jams, and requires colossal energy expenditure. How can we make it better? Transition to electric transport. Electric cars are already becoming part of our everyday lives. Companies like Tesla, Rivian, and Nissan are developing zero-emission models. But infrastructure remains a challenge. More charging stations need to be built to make electric car use accessible everywhere. In Norway, more than half of the cars sold are already electric, and the country plans to completely phase out cars with internal combustion engines by 2025. Development of public transport. Investments in modern high-speed trains, trams, and buses help reduce congestion and pollution. Cities are creating bike lanes and introducing car-sharing systems to reduce the number of private cars. Introduction of autonomous vehicles and drones. Driverless cars and cargo drones are not only convenient, but also safe. Autonomous vehicles reduce the number of accidents caused by human error, and drones are already being used to deliver goods to hard-to-reach places. Integration with renewable energy sources. The future of transportation is not possible without solar and wind energy. Some cars, such as the Lightyear, are equipped with solar panels that allow batteries to be charged even while driving. Hydrogen-powered buses, which emit only water vapor, are also planned. Demographic changes. The planet's population is changing. In some places, there are too many people, in others, too few. The problems of overpopulation are becoming especially acute in large cities, where resources are limited. Supporting birth rates through social programs. Social programs, such as child benefits, can help families maintain a high quality of life, stimulate birth rates, and reduce the demographic crisis. Migration policy for equal distribution of labor force. A migration policy aimed at the equal distribution of labor resources will help to cope with overpopulation in large cities and stimulate economic growth in less developed regions. Technologies that help the elderly. Modern technologies, such as robot assistants, allow older people not only to receive assistance, but also to be more independent. This creates the conditions for their long and high-quality life. Natural disasters and adaptation. Building sustainable infrastructure. Buildings and roads must be prepared for extreme weather conditions. For example, in Japan, they build earthquake-resistant buildings, and in the Netherlands, they build flood protection systems. Early warning and evacuation. Weather monitoring technology helps predict hurricanes and tsunamis. Warning systems save thousands of lives each year. Investments in ecology. Droughts and wildfires are often the result of climate change. Protecting forests and restoring ecosystems is key to reducing risk.